stereo. Here we go. Okay. Now can you hear this? Very quietly. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Set? There.
Welcome to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. We are here to podcast about anything and everything Star Wars with you.
Super
Please visit our
duper.
website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast
You're on the left.
Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansson.us. And now, it's time to talk Star Wars.
Woo!
I am Kyle John Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello. Howdy. Okay.
Hello.
Howdy. All right. Today we're reviewing Star Wars Andor Episode 4, the
Go Chiefs.
Aldhani. Oh, go Chiefs. Okay. Yeah, they play Sunday. The Aldhani is what this episode's called. And we're going to go through. I've got a little bit of feedback that Scott sent while he was gone. I'm going to read that first, and then we'll discuss the episode and do some discussion after that, and question of the week, thoughts and predictions, so on and so on. So,
Play the episode right.
yeah, no episode playback. And let me push this button. All right, so we can get feedback from Andrew Scott Sutton, the guy over there on the left, wrong side over there. He was gone last week because he wasn't feeling well from his booster shots that he got. So he sent in something, and here it is. It says, he says, first of all, sorry everyone that I could not be with you all for the first 3 episodes. However, my opinion will be heard. Damn it! Oh, he didn't say damn it. Episode 1, Kassan. He says there's dangerous search for him on Morlon 1. He was looking for his sister when some sentry guards from the brothel stop him on his way out of town. One thing led to another, and he ends up killing the guards. Flashbacks seem to be all right, but confusing way to tell the story. And personally, in my opinion, I don't like flashbacks most of the time, but there seems to be a big storytelling thing. And his last comment about episode 1 was, so now he's looking for his sister. We don't know why he's looking for his sister. I don't think we even ever find out why, but episode 2, we probably will. I think we'll actually meet her sometime during the show. He meets her in his travels, I guess, or whatever. Episode 2 opening, we're back on what seems to be a jungle planet with the kids, which is that flashback part where he is a kid, and I think if you missed it or not, Scott, with the
16. He's
little girl.
16. He's supposedly 16.
Not in that part. That's a different thing. He said he was 16 on some battle, but that's something different. He said that in episode 4. That's a different battle. He's like 6 or 7 on this thing, and his little girl with him that's the sister he's looking for.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Okay. Jungle planet. Andor is in a big mess trying to get off world, trying to sell things and such. He's basically at his last hope to get something sold. He's got a backup item that he's trying to get rid of. And the kids are making their way to the downed ship. And someone lands there with the ship. And what else has he got here? He takes gets the alarm clock goes off, and the droid is there to give him a briefing from his I guess his adoptive parents that we'll find out later took him from the ship. I think we find out that in episode 3. And then we see you see the older guy that's on a ship with a very talkative person, which that I think that's a funny scene there because it's almost like that at least for me on the plane. There's always someone there that wants to jibber jabber at you, and you just want to
Leave me alone.
leave me alone, ignore me. I'm trying to deal with flying on this crazy plane. Leave me alone, or whatever. That's the same thing I thought when I saw that. Okay. And then you talk about episode 3. That's where Andor actually climbs into the ship. You see several dead people in there. They've got some sort of weird coloring on their faces and skin. And he notices himself in the reflection on the console. And you kind of got the same impression that I did, that he breaks the console because he doesn't want to see his reflection or something, or he thinks it's something else back there that he doesn't like. Or and I've heard several things where they thought it was something else, especially when that couple comes in.
The Empire or whatever had decimated that planet, whatever. Are both people, those kids, native?
Yes. Yes. So, from my understanding of the stuff in the first 3 episodes where we're seeing him as a child, the Empire came in and started mining the planet, and just basically destroying it by mining it, because it had some mineral that they liked. I don't know. Let's example in our time, it would be coal or something. They just come in and tear everything out and not even care about the people who live there. And my theory is, and I think we'll find out later, my theory is this ship that crashes is some sort of medical ship, and they're experimenting on something, and when the ship crashed, whatever the experiment is has escaped, and it's killed them all. And I suspect that we hear in the future that the entire planet was decimated, was killed off. Basically, the guards, security people say that planet was completely decimated. There shouldn't be anybody alive or from there because they're all dead. And I think my theory is the ship is what's caused that. They blame it on a mining accident, but I think that's a cover story. So
how did his sister get out?
Probably, I don't know. Who knows? She probably hijacked herself, or some Imperial person took her and made her a slave or something. That's why she's in the sex trafficking stuff.
So that's one. So that's one thing I couldn't. I was watching. I couldn't figure out the angle of the ship, whether it was coming, whether it had launched and it got shot. The engine on the rear got shot down.
I couldn't tell that really either.
The Empire didn't want it to escape or it just came in and blew up.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what it was either. But that couple that came on the ship and took Andor, they gave him a shot and took him on there, and that's who we see it. That's who we see later on. The old lady that's
in his room, in his house.
Yeah, and that old lady and the other guy with her his name is Clem. That was her husband.
Yeah.
And we find out, in our episode today that we're reviewing, that he decides to use the name Clem for his adoptive father. That's how that name comes up. But anyway, yeah. So they actually kidnap him or something like that to save him because they know the Empire is coming after them. They're just coming in to salvage some parts off the ship that they think they need.
So okay, so then were they the ones that took that box, or did he later on get a hold of the box? And what is the box?
I mean, the thing he's trying to trade?
Yeah.
No, I think he actually. No, I think he actually went because it was they called it a Star Path unit, and it was a fairly recent version of a Star Path unit is what was it described as. So I think it's something that he's done in his past, because we see that he has the ability to go from different planets because he's borrowing a ship from the scrapyard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we don't really see where he gets that from, but I know that it's fairly recent model because, especially in today's episode, they talk about it a tiny bit, and the ISB people make it sound like it was a fairly new version of the Star Path unit. That girl does, at least. Let's see, and then like you said here at the end, blah 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 speaks at the beginning. Andor. This is a totally different type of Star Wars type of story, right? It's not like anything we've ever seen before. This planet that Andor's on, where his friends are at and stuff. Apparently that's a planet where the Empire brings all their broken or destroyed ships, and these people salvage parts off of it and sell it to whoever, type of thing. So, yeah, the first 3 episodes were very interesting in my mind, at least. I should have played this earlier.
I think the segues were kind of shitty.
Well, yeah, they just jumped back and forth. They didn't really segue very well at all.
There's no fades or nothing. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was very choppy. Yeah, I didn't like that either.
It took me 3 viewings of all 3 episodes to even get it somewhat of a timeline and what the hell at this time, in recent time. Yeah, when it was in the past and when was in the it was hard to for me, and at least in the first episode, it was very confusing. And to see who those people were in the present time and in the past, it was just very confusing, and how it related to each other and stuff like that, which I don't think we'll find out for a while, at least how some of it related. But well, I'm gonna push another button here. We should have played this earlier, but you should have already watched the other episodes because we already played those spoiler alerts for those episodes that we've already done. So let's do this one for today's episode.
Spoiler alert. Danger. You're about to be spoiled. This is your
spoiler alert. Okay. I didn't play the whole thing. So our episode today, or the 4th episode, called Aldhani, is starts out with, we're on the ship that Luthen and Cassian, are on after they escape, their big escape from the last episode. They're going through space, and Andor's looking for a med pack because he's got a wound from a phaser blast on his arm, and Luthen offers him a med nog, which I didn't really know what that was when I heard it, but I assumed it was some sort of medical type of thing. And it says here, med nog was a drink that assisted in healing injuries when ingested. And yeah, it's probably had alcoholic abilities to it too. But that's the first time I've ever heard the med pack or a med nog used before. And this is also where Andor is getting kind of a briefing of where they're going. In a way, the guy Luthen kind of gives him an ultimatum. Does he want to be dropped off at a planet? Does he want to join the bigger fight? Or something about he can kill him too, or something? Didn't he say? I can kill you as well.
And I can kill you and take your ship, or you can kill me and take my ship. Yeah,
exactly.
It was kind of funny. It was kind of funny that when he put it in light speed or whatever, that Andor had no, Cassian had no. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I think he was just kind of surprised where he was and what the ship was kind of small for what it did, I think is what he thought. And I don't know. I thought when I saw him flying to other planets that he went into light speed also. So, Andor himself, when he was flying that ship by himself, I thought he did, but maybe not. I don't know. Andor starts to question this guy and ask him about his who he is. Because he wants to make sure he's not going to kill him or something weird like that. So, but the guy Luthen proves to him that he knows even more about Andor. Because Andor brings up the battle of Mimban when he was 16 years old, like you were talking about earlier. And this battle is it's formerly known as Circus 5, a swamp planet located in whatever. It doesn't matter. The situation was related to a trade route. So it was the Trade Federation was, and the Empire was pitting the locals against each other. There was one guy on side of trade and the other guy not, and they were basically caused a civil war on this planet. And he helped fight with the Republic 224th Division is what it says. The Mimbanese Libertarian Army is what they called themselves. Anyway, the Separatists and the Imperials funded one side, kind of like we did back in the 80s with the Contras and stuff in the Central America.
Mm-hmm.
We funded one side and then somebody else funded the other side. Russia funded the other side, kind of. Yeah. Let's see. And Andor claims that he was one of the 50 people that survived. And the Luthen comes back and says, "Well, yes, you survived, but you survived because you were a cook and you fled to survive. You didn't survive because you were fighting a battle. You fled, escaped, and such." And he offers Andor 200,000 credits, which that's a huge amount of money in credits, because if you remember, he was going to pay for that unit, that Starpath unit. He was going to pay 1,000 credits for it.
Yeah,
and that was pretty valuable because that's a guidance, basically a guidance system for a starship. But 200,000 credits for this job, that's a big amount of money. And then we go to a scene outside the Imperial Security Bureau. Has a nice little Empire symbol out on the the grounds as this lady that we see is walking up. I think they called her supervisor Dedra Meero, attends a meeting at the ISB headquarters. And the supervisor guy, the older gentleman in there, is called Supervisor Grandy. Grandy, yeah. And they're reporting, different things in their assigned areas. Like they talk about increased detentions in the Ryloth sector, and that's kind of an Easter egg, Scott, because it calls out to the Rebels show that we watched already. It's the Ryloth sector was a heavy Rebel sector. They caused all kinds of trouble because the Rylothans, and that's where Ezra's from and all that stuff. Yeah. There was a huge uprising in that area, and I think we saw some of that in our Rebels show. Major Partagas is the guy in charge there, and he is pretty strict. He's questioning one of the guys about his report and how lax it is and how bad it is, and he says basically he's taking this guy off of this thing because he's just not doing a very good job. And we hear in one of the reports the guy talks about this skirmish that Andor had on that planet, and what do they call it? The Ferrix incident, and this is when this Meero chick, Dedra Meero, clicks in on that. She's like, "Wait, hey man, we had something stolen from our sector that was a Starpath unit, and this sounds like the same unit." And she goes and researches that unit and finds out that it's actually the right one that she's looking for. And that that gives her jurisdiction over the entire Ferrix incident. And she goes to this Bevlin guy that's giving the report and says, "Hey, I need to take over I need access to all your files so that I can recover my my Starpath unit." And he tells her no. He says no, he's not going to do it. And she comes back later again and asks him again, and he says no a second time. And she has one of her assistants helping her out and stuff, and they are able to prove exactly the right one. And we hear some stuff about increased shipping and protection towards Scarif, which is in Rogue One where they have that final scene. And let's see. Okay, we go back to the Aldhani. Andor is chosen the name of Clem. He shaves his face, his beard, and everything else, so he's all clean skinned. And he what's his name? Luthen gives Andor a necklace that he had on him. It's actually it's a crystal, but it's actually a kyber crystal. He says it briefly, and if you were listening,
yeah, I heard. But what's a kyber crystal?
That's what they use in the lightsabers.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Right. So, and that's also what the Empire uses for the Death Star weapon, the planet killer weapon, and all those fancy guns that we see in the future. Those all use the Death Star technology that uses the kyber crystal. And that's the whole reason we see in the future shows where they're mining kyber crystals like they are in Rogue One and stuff like that, because they're building their Death Star weapon. All right, so he gives him this thing as a down payment, and says it's well worth more than 40,000 credits. If he has to sell it, then he shouldn't take less than 40,000 credits. And let's see, down payment. He wants the signet. He tells Andor that he wants the signet back if everybody lives. Because once he gets his payment, he wants it back. He wants that back. It's very precious to him. And we find out that the contact on this planet they went to is her name is Vel, Vel, and Vel doesn't like that Andor's coming in because they've been planning this for more than 6 or 8 months, and he's coming in the last minute. And he finally, this Luthen finally convinces her that Clem can pilot, shoot, lie, and is a polyglot. And he tells her, she says, well, if he's just a mercenary and all this stuff, what happens if he doesn't work out or if things go south? And he says that Clem's disposable. That's why he's being paid. He's disposable. Dun dun dun. Okay, then we go back to the ISB headquarters, and now Chief Inspector Hine is talking to our guys from the previous 3 episodes, the Inspector Searle and this sergeant guy that were leading this fight to find Andor and find all this information, and it all got debunkled. So they're getting reprimanded, and they get their comlinks taken away and their weapons taken away, and it says they're gonna be dispatched and transferred to different locations.
If he would have just done what his supervisor told him to.
Exactly, his supervisor told him not to do it, and all that, and they will also certify after the action report has been filed. And it looks to me there was a scene right there not long after where what that Cyril Karn guy, the inspector, goes to his mom's apartment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You see that, and she slaps him.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "You traitor!" Yeah. In that chief inspector doesn't let any of them talk or anything like that because there doesn't matter what they say now. It's too bad.
They've already stepped in the poo poo.
Yeah, they've already stepped in the poo poo. Then we go back to the planet with Andor, and they're walking through an area. And she asks about his arm and how he got hurt. And this is where they see a TIE fighter that comes through. They hide behind the rocks and dodge it. Yeah, 2 TIE fighters. And she says it's yeah. He hears it, she hears it, they both hear it, and it's a routine patrol because there's a high value Imperial coming in, and they're doing some patrols before he comes in. And then we go back to the ISB, and security Meryl, she locates the Starpath unit in the database. And she finds out what she's looking for, and then we go back to where what's his name, Raphael Luthen. He lands on Coruscant, and we see him put on the wig and kind of do a little put on the rings, and he's got a purple robe on. He looks totally different, and he kind of does. He doesn't pretend to act there. He's like, okay, this is the role I'm gonna take on. I need to kind of do that.
Needs to re-up his act.
Yeah, which is kind of funny, and it's kind of like you said, he looks kind of different. He's more he kind of transforms himself into some sort of high society type of person, right, or something like that.
Homo.
Yeah,
Homo.
Maybe.
Maybe. Come on. He's an art dealer. They're all homos.
Maybe. All right, and then we go back. Yeah. Then we go back to where the ISB woman Dedra is confronting the supervisor now about the Ferrix incident, and that she needs to get her Star Path unit back, and this is where she wants to pull rank and go up above to the head of the ISB and get access to it, because he denies her a second time on getting access to the Star Path information. And then we go back to the planet. Val and Andor are traveling, and we see one of the rebels that we're going to meet up with sleeping, and another one comes up on him and says, "Hey, you shouldn't be sleeping. You could get killed for that. I have orders to kill if you do like that." And they see Val returning, and they're like, "Hey, there's somebody else with her. Who's this guy? What's going on with this guy?" And they finally catch up to her, and she says, "Hey, this is our new guy, Clem." And she kind of apologizes for not introducing him earlier, but he is going to provide critical redundancy in all areas. And they get to the camp, and we meet Skeen, Tamarin, Nimic, and Cinta. Timuron is pretty uncomfortable with Clem's presence. Doesn't like that there's a newcomer right at this time. And the tension builds, because they don't accept him. What are they going to do? He's probably going to get killed or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, then we go back to Coruscant, and this is where he meets with his mother, and she gives him a big hug after the slap. And we also see Luthen in the art, or the I call it an antique shop, is what I call it, antique shop, with his assistant called Kelia, Kleya, and then we see Senator Mon Mothma arrive in a pretty fancy ship. I guess we could call it a limo ship, huh? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go about talking about art and business and stuff like that. And she kind of says that she thinks she's being spied on, and they go in the back room and they start talking about their new ally, Andor, and Luthen tells her that she can trust both him and Kelia. And this is where we see her go back to her house, and we meet her husband, Perrin Firtha. And she's complaining about all the guests, right? She says, "I don't want these people," and they mention Mos Adama and Sly Moore, and I looked up this Mos Edema, and that guy is the guy. If you remember in Revenge of the Sith, he was one of the people that was standing next to the Emperor when he declared the Galactic Republic. He was a blue guy that had the tentacles down the side, and he had like a spear or something right next to him or whatever. So he's one of those guys, and then this other guy that they mentioned is Sly Moore, and this guy looks like a chick almost. It says Sly Moore, but it looks like a chick. It does say female force adept, and they have the ability to manipulate people's minds. So, and they look like an albino. Their eyes are all white. There's no color except for the pupil, which is weird. And she doesn't like those people, and it looks like to me for good reasons, right? They look kind of weird and creepy and distrustful and such. And she mentioned something about inviting the Gorman to the meeting too, because these people are the ones that put up trade fights against them and cut their shipping, and they basically are starving to death because these two people that were mentioned took all their stuff and basically put a blockade up for the Gorman people. If you remember in Rebels, that's where we see Mon Mothma publicly disclaim the treating of the Gorman people, and she basically quits the Senate. And such. So those people are something important to her. And then we go back to the planet again with Val, and we get a Lieutenant Gorn that shows up, and he's suspicious of Clem, of course, too, because they've been planning this for months. Blah blah blah. And he's the one that has the information about the river, and there's supposed to be a special once a year meteor shower thing that happens that they're planning their whole attack around, right? Because this meteor shower thing is going to be a distraction. There's thousands of people that come to see it, and they say that there's a vault containing the payroll underneath a runway that's at the end of this field that they always hold this they call it the Eye of Aldhani, and he says that it has to do with the planet passing through a ring on like a moon or something. It has a ring of dust in it, and the planet passes through that, and it causes atmospheric interruptions and stuff.
Yeah.
And this thing, this phenomenon happens in 3 days. So now we know exactly how much time, they brought Andor in 3 days before everything was going to happen, and now we kind of understand why everybody's so freaking out about him being there, because it would be pretty hard for anybody to accept somebody 3 days before you're getting ready to do some big job, right?
Yep.
Especially if you're trying to keep it secret. And then one of the last scenes here is this Lieutenant Meero, the Dedra Meero, brings her case to her supervisor about the Starpath unit in the Ferrix incident, and she puts forth a pretty compelling case for her taking over the files, but Partagaz dismisses everything, and says she doesn't have grounds, insufficient evidence, and so on.
Yeah.
Even though it looks pretty good. And he reminds her that she has 2 reports that are overdue and she should be focusing on that instead. So he kind of puts her back in her place, right? Says, hey, you should be worrying about this and not that. And, maybe she's dealing with, partly being a female and maybe younger than the other guys too. So she's overstepping because of that. And then we get the last scene of the show where Cameron gives Clem a brief on a freighter, on a digital tablet type of pad, right? And he's got specs for this freighter that they're gonna be flying, and the base layout of the location that they're gonna attack, and he has to eat, memorize this, the specs on the layout, and get his wounds taken care of all before morning, so that they can, talk about more plans because they've only got 2 days now before their stuff starts. And that's kind of where it ends. There, he's like, "Do I get to eat?" He says that part there, and that's kind of when the credits start to roll right after that. So, what did you think about it, Scott? Did you think that was about the episode?
Yeah. It's more of a more along the lines of a Star Wars show instead of a little more flashback.
Yeah, we didn't get hardly any flashbacks at all. Well, we didn't get any flashbacks, did we? And we got to see the ISB, the Internal Security Bureau, which is a pretty big deal. That, and they were all wearing the white uniforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them had the white uniform on. So we can kind of put that together and say, every time we see someone with a white uniform like that, they're probably from the ISB or upper ranks, right?
Damn Germans.
Hi, Hitler. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was interesting too. I mean, we don't really get into the ISB hardly at all in any of the shows, really. And I was glad to see more of it and more how it was, and it's kind of a round table thing, like we saw in I think it was Empire Strikes Back, where there was a big round table. They were all talking, and Darth Vader was there, and that's where we get the phrase that the Jedi are dead, and you're the only one of their kind left, kind of a thing from what's his name, the old guy that's was in charge of the Death Star. Yeah, that was kind of cool, and I'm gonna play this here first. Where's it at? Here it is.
We are proud to welcome our latest sponsor, Juan's Cantina, where every first week of the month on the standard Galactic call Cinco de Mayo. Join us on food, mariachi music, and 34 flavors of margaritas. That's Juan's Cantina right next to the Hangar 94 of Mos Eisley Spaceport. On day 2 of the week is Taco Tuesday. All tacos half a credit each, and enjoyed with our house margaritas. Juan's Cantina also serves the famous Dos Camarones Azul Cerveza, imported directly from Kessel. Thank you again for our latest sponsor, Juan's Cantina.
Slim. Can.
Yeah. So thinking about the episode, Scott, what do you think our question of the week should be? Here, I'll throw you what I put, and I don't.
I'm trying to think. Didn't they go up on the hill and look at the garrison of what they were going to take over or invade or something?
They had a model that they were looking at, but yeah.
Oh.
I don't think they actually saw it completely, with their own eyes yet. It was more of a model that someone had done in the dirt and stuff. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. But I put a kind of a weird one. You tell me if you think it's any good. But I put, will we see Val and Clem kiss?
Which one's better? Oh,
She's
I
the
think it's more. I think it's more like the one that. I think it'd be more like the one that
when it's.
repaired his arm.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah.
She
Unless
seems a
she's
little.
already.
She seems a
Unless
little
she's already.
conservative, though.
Unless she's already someone's woman.
Could be. I don't know. Um, I don't know.
I
We
think.
could ask.
I think when the shit hits the fan, it's going to be the young one fucking trying to run away. The one that was sleeping.
Oh yeah, the kid. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
probably. Because
Unless
he has no idea what he's getting into.
unless Clem grabs him and slaps him around and says, "You stick by me."
Yeah, I'll protect you. Stay by me. It could be. Could be. I think maybe we should. The real question of the week should be something like, uh, will we see Lieutenant Meero, Dedra Meero, get access to the
To the
Ferrix incident files?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does
That's
that sound like a good question?
That's a good one. Unless all that was filler, I don't think all that was filler.
No, I think she's going to be in it some more, at least maybe in the next couple episodes still. I think it's possible that this heist they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This is just me spitballing, kind of thinking out loud. I think what's going to happen is they're gonna get the money and they're gonna get it away, but Andor is going to be the one that gets caught.
Yeah.
Clem, and he gets put in jail, and they realize that he's the one that's responsible for the Ferrix thing, and she's going to find a way to go down and question him and stuff.
Well, what about during all this, all the build up and all this crap that you see him in the Empire uniform? Standing in line, at attention. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's the Empire uniform.
it is. It is, and I think we'll see that. And maybe we see that.
Trying to infiltrate, or do you think they're trying? They may not work for him.
I think he's trying to infiltrate. Or like you said, they may recruit him, and he does it for a little while until he gets what he needs and gets out, kind of thing too. Uses them to get what he needs and gets out.
Uses the situation to his advantage.
Exactly. Access to
the whole male macho thing at the ISB.
Yeah.
That of course, there's only one black man at the table, right?
Yep. She's the only one.
Then they integrated into a woman, but she's the last integration probably. So wow, they give her low security stuff, low clearance stuff, figure out.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they don't think she can handle lots of responsibility and stuff.
They were forced to be inclusive.
Right. Kind of like we kind of are nowadays, which hopefully we're getting better. But so I'll do that. Let's see. Our next episode comes out, of course, on Wednesday again, and we still don't have a title for episode 5 yet. They've been putting the titles out like the day, the night before, the broadcast comes out. But
why did they do that?
I don't know. They're just trying to keep secret because that's weird. Because like with Obi-Wan Kenobi, they came out with all the titles weeks before the show started.
Yeah.
And they've done that with The Mandalorian too, where they come up with all the episode titles. I don't know why they're hiding them. Maybe they think it's going to give away stuff. The titles give away plot. I don't know.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense to me, really. Honestly, I don't understand why. If they're gonna kind of promote these as three of them kind of go together thing, why they just don't release three of them at a time?
It's like, oh, it's over. After you watch three, then you have to watch one. It's like, oh, hold on a second.
Yeah. And they kind of do. If you string them all together and run them at once, it's basically a movie length time there. You got like an hour and a half timeline there. All right, so let's talk about this. Feedback at KyleJohansson.us. That's feedback, KyleJohansen.us. Yeah, so we want you to do like Scott did and send us a bunch of feedback on what you thought of the episode, what your opinions are, if we got anything right or wrong. Do you think Andor's gonna survive this? Do you think he's gonna get captured? Do you think he gives up?
We know he survives it.
Oh yeah, we do, don't we? He ends up in a movie. He ends up in a movie, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got several ways for you to send that feedback. You heard just then there's an email address, feedback@KyleJohansson.us. If you go to our website, there's several ways you can provide feedback. We have one link that says feedback, and that's a form that you can fill out to send us your feedback. It's just a generic form. We don't collect any information from you. We just ask, what to call you, and then your feedback, and that's all we get. And that's the best way, I think, to get us feedback. There's other ways. You can go to our questions of the week that we mentioned and fill out those questions, answer the survey related to that question. And then once you do, there's a section that comes up where you can add comments to that. Maybe you want to clarify what your answer was and all that stuff. And we'd love to include those in the podcast too. And of course, on our YouTube channel, you can make comments on the episodes there as well. And, since we haven't had a lot of comments because we don't have a huge audience right now, I went ahead and tested that this week, and everything appears to be working perfectly fine. So it allowed me to get the comment, and I have it set up so we have to review it. So we can't get somebody calling us a bunch of names and stuff and whatever. We can get rid of that before it gets seen, kind of thing. But it works perfectly fine there too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd love to get some feedback so we can discuss it, and maybe you can correct us if we're wrong, and if we're right, you can confirm. And maybe you think Scott's opinions are the best opinions around. You can certainly tell us all that. So
plausible deniability.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, so that's the ways you can give us feedback. We really would appreciate it. I've noticed in the last couple weeks that we've had somewhat of an uptick on the YouTube channel of views, and like example, when we did the Last Jedi episode, we had quite a few people actually see that and watch it. It says here 39 different views, and I don't think that's unique views. I think that's like if you go back several times, it'll register again and again. But our last episode of Andor, the Reckoning episode, we have 16 different people viewed on YouTube. on Spotify, we still have quite a group of people that are regular listeners. It says right now we have 9 people who are regular listeners. We have 3 followers.
All
To
in
that,
India.
no, this is Spotify. So Spotify is
Spotify.
different. The India one, we do have one person that's always listens every week. The same person listens every week. Of course, we have no idea who, but there's one person the last 7 days, and it seems like every
We need to
time
have
we
that
publish.
person on. Hey, you in India, you need to come on.
Yeah,
you need to come on a Saturday afternoon.
It says it's a male, between 35 and 44 years old, and they live in Indore in India. Anyway, so we got that.
So
yeah, we just need
out to you. You
get on here and give us your feedback.
We could do a 3-way.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we could do a 3-way Skype thing. Of course, the time's different over there. I think that would be in the middle of the night there. But if they're up for it, we're up for it. So
we can do it. Yeah,
we can do it.
Want to know what your thoughts are, or
yeah, at least you could send us some feedback on our feedback form and
type some feedback.
Send something. Let me get us out of the feedback.
Tell Dell tech support.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was also going to say that.
I apologize.
Namaste. Let's see. So yeah, I have been including more of the links in our video feed when I mention them. Like if I say question of the week, I'll put up a link at the bottom that says for the question of the week. And we've been getting quite a few hits off of those. The most recent one is the listen one. When I tell you to how to find us on different sites like Apple Music and stuff, I include that listen link, and we've gotten in the last week over 3 people have clicked on that. And question of the week, someone clicked on it. And then, of course, we have the regular ones where they go to the RSS feed, which actually is populated into all those different areas. Like Spotify uses the RSS feed to get our information. So those don't really count because it that could be an impression from Spotify, it could be an impression from Podchaser, whatever the place is that we have everything listed at. But also.
So every time I like one of the billions and billions of Twitter things that come down, does that count?
It does. Not billions. Jeez, I only do one or two a day, maybe. Got to keep people engaged. You got to follow us on social media and find out what's going on and everything.
What's popping in our neighborhood?
Yeah, got to encourage them.
How's Mr. Rogers?
Whatever. All right.
Well, Chippy.
All right. On that note, let's wrap this up.
Hey, neighbor.
Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. https://RABR.KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansen.us.
Yes.
left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at rabr.kaleijohansen.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries.
Your finger at me, neighbor.
All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or
Open your mouth.
In no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Johansen, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say goodbye now.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Have fun. Stop sharing.